back to the Keeping the Dream Alive podcast. Today I have the opportunity to sit down with two representatives, one from the Breakthrough T1D and one from New Hope Children's Clinic. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce yourself and we'll kind of get started there?
My name is Cindy Williamson, and I'm the Executive Director of the New Hope Children's Clinic.
Awesome.
And my name is Jennifer Bentley, and I'm the State Director for Breakthrough T1D.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about both y'all's organizations. I think Jennifer, y'all had a little bit of a commute to get here. So talk a little bit about what your organization is and who it serves.
Well, Breakthrough T1D, and many of you may reference back to our name just changed. Okay, I'm going to have to cut out that part. Breakthrough T1D, which is formerly JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. We actually just had a name change this year. So I'm still getting used to it. So I have to retrain myself in not saying JDRF. But our organization is a global organization, and I'm the state director for Alabama. So we serve the whole state of Alabama, families living with type 1 diabetes or just individuals just loving someone with type 1 diabetes.
And what about the New Hope Children's Clinic? Talk a little bit about that.
The New Hope Children's Clinic is school-based. It's, of course, a nonprofit, but we are school-based. We are on the property of New Hope Elementary and New Hope High Schools, and we're a pediatrician's office. We are meeting the children where they're at, where it's easy to access, and making sure they get the health care that they deserve.
And so for both of y'all's organizations, how do y'all, to fulfill that mission that both of you have, how do y'all get funding and kind of where, what makes it possible to support the communities that you support?
Well, with Breakthrough T1D, we receive funding from individuals, from corporations, from foundations, some government funding. But that is our mission is to find a cure for type 1 diabetes. And so we fundraise, we educate, and we advocate. And we do that, with many different ways with events. We have fundraising events. And so that's our mission, is to raise as much money as possible to find a cure as quickly as possible.
At the clinic, our budget is in, I say, thirds. We do have insurance reimbursements through Medicaid and the All Kids program. That's the federal CHIP program, providing insurance to families. And for both of those, you have to reach a certain threshold, income threshold for those. Any child in Alabama can have Medicaid. So part of our funding comes from insurance reimbursements, but really only about a third of the budget. And unfortunately, Medicaid reimburses only 40% of what we spend. So we do have to have other avenues for income, and that includes grants. I write a lot of grants for the clinic. That can be as much as $150,000 to $170,000 a year in grants if I have a good year. Outside of grants, we have donors and partners that donate. Of course, this is the end of the year. Going into the new year, we receive a lot of funding through donors and partners like that, and fundraisers too. We have two major fundraisers that bring in quite a bit of money to the clinic, so we're able to provide the care that we need to provide.
Yeah, and obviously the funding is what helps you do what you are wanting to do for the community of New Hope and what you're doing for the state of Alabama. What is the greatest need that, as both of your organizations are looking for or needing to beyond just the funding to do what you do as we move into the new year?
Well, beyond the funding, really just enlisting as many people as possible to come alongside us with our mission. As I said, we serve the whole state. We're actually a staff team of 2. And so we have a lot to do, a lot of people to serve, and we try to do as many events as possible in different areas around the state, whether it's fundraising events or outreach events. And so as many people as possible that will come alongside us and help us on that mission. Our boards, our volunteers are true partners with us. And I think it's wonderful. We wish we had more staff members, of course, but we're very grateful for our volunteers and our board that partner alongside us every step of the way.
I think our biggest need as a pediatrician's office is going to be funding. We have a staff of 16. That includes 3 pediatricians, one of those a medical director, 2 pediatric nurse practitioners, and 5 registered nurses. These are all part-time employees. They are making some money, but very, very minimal compared to what they could be making in private practice. We have vaccine costs, we have supply costs, we have, of course, just running the building. The overhead to run a nonprofit often gets lost in the mix a lot of times. So that's the utility bills, that's the security, that's, for us, medical waste pickup, things of that nature. So funding is always our biggest need to help support the clinic. We also do have supply drives. We have generous groups around town that do supply drives for us. If we're not spending money on the paper towels, on copy paper, we like to send a toothbrush and toothpaste out with each child if they need those. If we have groups that are giving us those amenities and those necessities, then that's money we're not spending on that. We're spending it on the children in the exam room, making sure they can be as healthy as they can be.
Yeah. And so y'all both have alluded to a little bit of the fundraising events and the annual events that y'all both do to kind of, draw awareness and also create sort of a funding opportunity for the organizations. Talk a little bit about some of these events that our listeners could be a part of, and how do they get a part of it and stuff like that.
Sure. As far as the fundraising events, we have 3 walks within the state. We Huntsville, Birmingham, and Tuscaloosa. Our walks are always in the fall, so they just happened. And now we are moving into what we call our gala season. And we have 1 gala, and that is in May. So those are our fundraising events. And we always are in need of participants and volunteers and sponsors.
Mhm.
And then we have outreach events. And as I mentioned, those are throughout the state. And what we try to do with those events is always have them at a fun and unique place, always free of charge, because we don't want money to ever be an issue while our families cannot attend.
Mm.
And then we try to do those as opportunities for newly diagnosed families to be able to come and to meet what we call veteran families, because it's just so important for those families to find that connection with others that are living with type 1 diabetes, and to further that relationship through, hopefully, through the meeting at that event.
Mhm.
We do 2 major events each year. However, this year we're adding a third, and the third is really for our patients and our patient families. The clinic turns 15 years this year. So we have been on the campus at New Hope for 15 years, and we're going to, in April, have a birthday party. And that's going to be for our patients and for our families. And we're thrilled just to offer that to them it'll be on a Sunday afternoon, and we'll be celebrating our patients and our families and how far they've come, and thank them for what they've done. Our 2 major fundraising events, we have 2. We have one coming up in March, and it's called Growing Hope, and it's a casino night. We're doing that March 28th this year at the Royal at Stovehouse. And that's just a night of fun, food, drink, and gambling. Can I say gambling? But it's gambling for the clinic. Any money that you put into the gambling comes right back to the clinic. So that's a fun night that we've done for years now, and we have a really good time with it. We also have a dove hunt in the fall, in September, and a gentleman, Derek Gardner, has done this for us for, 14 years now, almost 15 years. It started as a brim rodeo and grew into a dove hunt. This past year, we had about 250 hunters out in Woodville in Jackson County. And we raised over $50,000 on a Sunday afternoon. People coming in for food, fun, raffle prizes, games, and hunting at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think, it's always incredible to see, being around 15 years, just how you've been able to adapt and change some of the events that you do, and being able to support the community in a little different way. And same with you, Jennifer, just being able to kind of figure out, hey, what's the needs currently? Because maybe those needs weren't the needs that were happening 5 years ago. And if you're kind of stuck on those needs, you're not supporting the needs that people currently have. If someone's listening and they want to know more about both of your organizations, where's the best place to connect with you, learn more, donate, see all the things that are in the ins and outs of Breakthrough T1D and New Hope Children's Clinic?
Well, the best way is to go to our website, breakthrough-t1d.org, to read all about the organization, how to become involved, make a donation, sign up to be a volunteer. All of those good things are at the website. Another way is through social media. And if you're going to connect with us through social media, it's Breakthrough T1D Alabama. So there are a lot of Breakthrough T1D pages out there, but we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Same here. The New Hope Children's Clinic, you can find out all about us at newhopechildrensclinic.org. That is our website. We too have the social media outlets, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram are our social media outlets. And we love to have people come out to New Hope if they're on their way to Gunnersville, south of Huntsville, and see the clinic. We sit behind the elementary school, as I mentioned, and we're thrilled to be there and hope to be there for a long time to come.
Yeah. And as far as these events that you're always looking for volunteers at to make these events possible, and as you're continuing to grow both your organizations, I would foresee in the future you would have even more events. Is finding volunteers and being able to put their time into both of your causes available on your website too? Is that the best place of contact for them?
Yes, if they will go to the website and choose the option like to get involved or to become a volunteer, that link, that information that they submit through the link will come directly to us. And then we will reach out to them and kind of figure out what part of the state they're in, what they're interested in, just learn more about them, and then decide how we can partner.
Yeah, on our website we have you'll find a email address which is just info@nhcc.care. And that's the best way to get in touch with us. Call the clinic, the numbers are there, or my email is cindy.williamson@nhcc.care.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you both being here today. We'll be sure to have all the information for both your nonprofits and both of your organizations in the episode notes. So if anyone wants to find out more information, see those links, see those contacts, that'll all be there in the show notes. I appreciate you all being here, and I continue to look forward to the impact you'll be able to have in the whole state of Alabama and also in the area of New Hope and everywhere around it. So I appreciate you both being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you.